Beautiful Wednesday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today I have with me the energy of Archangel Michael, who wants to talk about the real meaning of freedom. The real meaning of freedom. I'm very excited about this, and I hope you will hear and you will take it in, you will comprehend it, and that you'll understand it in the best possible way that you can. It is a very interesting time for humanity. We are faced with some very simple choices. Love or fear. That's it. Very simple choice. Everything we are going to do individually and collectively is going to be based on that. But there is this element of individuality that has to be addressed. And what is freedom? What it really means to be free. And how do you live that? How do you exist in freedom? One of the things he said to me is that it's very important that you understand the ability to choose your thoughts. The ability to choose your thoughts reasonably. It is so important that you understand the meaning and value that the concept that was given to you, as you think in your heart, so it shall be, which means that your thinking is a very primary and important source of your individual freedom. Not having awareness of this truth places you in the position where you will find yourself subjective to the ideas and information of other people, the thoughts of others that can supplant your own thinking process. And so it becomes very important to evaluate your thoughts. Without your own ability to reasonably evaluate the thoughts in your own mind and the thoughts that are presented to you to consider, to evaluate what the potential effects of certain thoughts are creatively. For the function of thought is creation. The function of thought is creation. And so what thoughts you think and what thoughts you are given are functions of creation. And it is very important you come to an understanding of this. For your freedom is dependent upon understanding this. That if you cannot independently choose your own thoughts, your own thinking, then you are not free. If you are wholly dependent upon the thoughts, the beliefs, the ideologies, the informations of anybody in this dimension, you are not free. You are free to evaluate those thoughts and consider if those thoughts enhance, augment, and improve the nature and quality of your life and your expression, or do they not? For thoughts from a perspective of creation have very precise and inevitable results. And your ability to get very good clarity on the nature and quality of the thoughts in your mind and the thoughts that you're being presented with becomes very important. This is the first step in understanding the meaning of your freedom. For the nature and quality of the thoughts that are in your mind, the nature and the quality of the thoughts that you will select and choose to adopt, these determine a creative function in your life. What will happen to you in your body, what will happen to you in your world, is far more dependent upon the thoughts in your mind than many of you realize. Very few of you recognize the nature and quality of the effect of thoughts on your physical health, or the ideas and information that you're given to by others, and the effect that that has on your choices. And so the first and foremost step towards freedom is to come to this place where you can deliberately and intentionally evaluate your thoughts, all of them, carefully, to cast out from your house what does not serve you, to bring into your home those thoughts that will serve you. You are not alone in the process of thinking. You do not have to be wholly dependent upon this world for thoughts. You can call upon your Creator, the Divine One, the one you call God. You can call upon Him for thoughts. You can call upon your angels. You can call upon those who are in the higher realms of consciousness And I say the term higher to denote the distinction between the functions of love and fear. Those who function with the offerings of love as ideas and information, you are wise to listen to them. And those who function on the level of fear and control and authority and power, be very wary of them, for they will seek to enslave you to the very suffering they've enslaved themselves to. Do not mistake material wealth for fulfillment or happiness. True freedom requires that you be able to discern the thoughts in your mind and evaluate the potential consciousness creatively. What is the consciousness event that will be created by a specific thought? A thought of possibilities is far more appealing than a thought of impending doom. If you understand the nature of those two statements, then you will have a sense that you can at least discern between a thought that is based in love and a thought that is based in fear. Whatsoever you think is, so it shall be, and so it is in your life right now. And many of you call upon us to assist you with your suffering, to help you liberate yourself from it. But you will often pick your yoke back up again. You've experienced intervention and guidance. And then you choose to go back to the old thinking, the old remembering, the old that causes you to suffer. And you must make the decision not to do this. There is not one facet of your existence in this physical dimension that will not be governed by thought of some form or another. Even the function of biological instinct is a form of thought, a lifeward experience of being. The body's desire to avoid things that harm it and hurt it is a thought that originated that life is sacred and should go forward. It is a divine thought built into your body, one that you need not concern yourself with, but one which you can override. And many of you do. Many of you place substances in your body that harm it. Many of you think ideas that cause you to do things that do you no good. And so the ultimate meaning of freedom is to have authority and dominion over your thinking mind, that you have the ability to select and choose thoughts deliberately, and that you do not defer this to others unless their function of love is clearly demonstrated and established. For those that function from love will offer you thoughts that will elevate you and lift you up, inspire you, lift you away from suffering. And those that would choose to give you ideas and information that would increase and diminish you in your suffering, do not listen to them. Be mindful of the source of the thoughts that you receive. Be mindful of the source of the thoughts that you receive. For there are only two masters in which you can serve in this dimension. They are love and they are fear, what you also call good and evil, what you call heaven and hell, angels and demons. You have only those two choices in the function of your creative journey here. And the effects that you find yourself observably in are effects of the thoughts that you have acquired and accepted, or the thoughts that you have changed and altered. And you might be thinking, how can it be so simple that I just change my thoughts and my life will change? It is a matter of whether or not the change is persistent enough. Is the persistent change in your thoughts consistent enough? Can you hold on to a new thought until you live it and breathe it, eat it and drink it? Thoughts will give you life and they will give you death. They will give you life abundantly. They will give you suffering abundantly. But your ultimate freedom is wholly dependent upon your ability to understand that the fundamental nature of your thoughts are directly responsible for the experiences you are currently engaged in. All of you, there are none in this dimension, not even the children, that are exempt from this process. And much of what is given to the children from our observations now is not too pleasing. There are pockets of those that hold true to very specific values of love, compassion, and kindness, patience and tolerance, curiosity and playfulness, the embedment of character and personality. But you can see there's almost a wholesale orgy of craziness, of thinking and ideas that do not serve the well-being of yourself or others. And yet, that moment where you may choose, even in your darkest moment, you may choose to change your thinking mind, even if the outward circumstances do not appear favorable to you. The very act of fundamentally beginning to change the thinking mind begins a process of assuring a change in direction from suffering back to love. And there are, for some of you, that can let go of, release, forgive old thoughts, old beliefs, old ideas that will find yourselves moving into a very new life. Some of you very quickly, some of you quite surprisingly, some of you even quite miraculously. But the function of the thinking mind that you have control and authority over, unless you defer it to another, is very specific in its causes and effects in the conditions that you find yourself at this time, or any time for that matter. What you eat, what you drink, whom you see and do not see are all based in your thinking mind, in the thoughts both above and below, the thoughts both above and below. And by that I mean the area where your thinking is in the background of your mind, and although it's uncomfortable, you know it is there, but you have not taken the time to say, wait, what is this thought that is in my mind? This does not serve me. But you must, and you have to, come to a place where you will decide or not to take authority over your thinking mind, or continue to defer that process, that authority, to others. If all of you went about thinking very carefully and meticulously about the nature and quality of your thoughts and the effects that those thoughts would bear fruit of in your life, then you'd be living a very different experience right now. All of you. You would be minding your own business, so to speak, because you would be too excited and delighted and happy to know that you can create your own life and your own destiny, that is not dependent wholly upon others. That you will find, as you alter and change your thinking mind, that you will begin to align to and connect to those that are in alignment with the nature and quality of the thinking mind that you develop. The nature and quality of your thinking mind is responsible for what you are experiencing in your world right now. And so the ultimate freedom begins in your thinking mind. And your thinking mind is responsible for the acts, the emotions that you are experiencing and bear witness to others experiencing. And I cannot make it any simpler than this, that there are only two choices of thoughts. Two choices of thoughts only. The thoughts of love, the thoughts of fear. There are no middle thoughts. There are no neutral thoughts in this realm. You either choose love or you choose fear. You choose good or you choose evil. You choose one or the other, but you cannot choose them both. In the moment you decide that your liberation is more important to you than your suffering, then you may begin to choose to think anew, to renew your mind with your thinking, your deliberate, conscious, evaluative thoughtfulness, to intentionally and deliberately evaluate your mind. This is the meaning of freedom, to have authority and dominion over your thinking mind. Dominion and authority over your thinking mind, Or like so many that are struggling right now, you have deferred that authority to someone or something else. And I see that quite prevalently in this physical dimension now, that many of you have deferred the process of your divinity, which is reason. Many of you deferred this to simply accept thoughts mindlessly, without question or evaluation, and then find yourself suffering needlessly because you have deferred the responsibility of your own creative nature to another. But you came here to function uniquely and individually, utilizing your own function of reason to assess and evaluate the creating process through the nature of thought. And yes, you may receive inspired thought from both love and fear. You can receive inspired thought from darkness as equally as you can receive inspired thought from light, except each has its own reward. That which is from darkness will cause you to suffer, and that which is from light will cause you to live in joy, in bliss, in communion, in compassion, in kindness. You see yourselves now in a time where that which is good appears to be bad, and that which is bad appears to be good, but that which is true appears to be false, and that which is false appears to be true. And you cannot make a distinction between what is out there, but you can make that distinction in your own mind. You can turn inwardly and you can say, it is time I watch this thinking mind. It is time I assume authority over this thinking mind. It is time I take responsibility for the thoughts that go through my mind. It is time to discard the thoughts that do not serve me. It is time to discover thoughts that heal and inspire and cultivate and grow my life into an expression that is wholesome and beautiful and good. You may equally gain the illusion of the benefit of suffering, that you may choose thoughts where you can take advantage of others and harm them, that you can manipulate and control them and have some false authority over them. But that does not give you fulfillment, but the illusion of fulfillment, that all of the trappings that you have gathered from this world, you would think that would give you freedom and fulfillment, and yet you do not have it, and yet you continue to seek that freedom and fulfillment from an illusion. Your freedom comes from the responsibility of your thinking, the ability to be aware. In the state of love, you can be aware of, open and receptive to receiving thoughts of love, inspiration. That is a much more preferable freedom than the freedom of suffering. It is quite simply this. The meaning of freedom is the ability to use your own thinking mind, to select and choose your own thoughts. For these are creative in nature and cause events, circumstances, relationships to unfold in your life. And it is what you create that gives your life meaning in this dimension. You get to look upon your creation much as the Creator looked upon you at the moment of your conception and said, "This is good. You are a delight of my creation. I will watch you grow and evolve." And now you find yourself listening to these words, and you get to decide, what shall I think? What shall I not think? What shall I accept? What shall I reject? What are the effects of this thought? In that process of creation, you will define the meaning of your own life by the nature of your own thinking. And the meaning is the experience of the creation that you've manifested as a result of your thinking or your denial of that process, that deferral of it. And many of you have deferred the process of thinking to others, and you find yourself confused and suffering because of what others say and what others believe. But there is no greater salve for healing your mind, healing your body, than assuming first authority over your own thinking process. And in that, you begin to produce the meaning. Thought creates. It is the device of creation while you're in this physical dimension. It is the device of creation from that divinity that you originated from. It is why it was stated repeatedly, what thou shalt thinketh, so it shall be. And what others would tell you to think, so it shall be. You must define and decide this for yourself. Shall you choose your own thoughts, or shall you continue to defer to others to do that process for you? If you are not happy and fulfilled, then you have obviously deferred that process to someone else who has a lesser idea of thinking than you could perhaps create for yourself. So it becomes open to you to make that decision, to choose that thought process deliberately and intelligently. There is no other that can do this for you but yourself. There is no other that can do this for you other than yourself. I love this. Thank you, Michael. So we are at this place, humanly speaking, where we are poised. We are literally poised as a species on the balance of devastation or liberation. And our collective thinking, our collective feeling is bearing the fruit of what we see around us. And I want to say thank you to Archangel Michael for this message, because it's the simplest I've ever heard. That the true meaning of freedom comes from your ability to select and choose your own thought process, your own thinking process, to learn to evaluate the concepts and ideas that are presented to you and decide which ones you will accept or reject. And that the function of our thoughts and what create the events in our life, and that gives our life meaning. The events that unfold around us give our creative process meaning. And we get to decide that. And I'm really grateful that he shared this with us today. I really am. Hi guys, good morning. Hi Money Boss, how you doing? Suffering is an imprisonment. Yes, but you can also understand that you possess the key to your liberation. So while you may be suffering, the very action, the ability to take responsibility over your thought realm, what you shall think or not think, this gives you the key to unlock yourself from the enslavement to your suffering. The moment you recognize, comprehend the full scope, scale, and power of your own thinking, you shall always then have the key to your own liberation, and none could ever imprison you or enslave you in that place of suffering ever again. Yes, for even those conditions that caused you to suffer will have their benefit as you lean yourself away from suffering towards love. That's really cool. I like that statement. Linds is asking, how do we get past the hurt and pain, the emotional anguish? Well, Linds, I'm really glad you asked that question, because what they taught me to do and what they do with everybody through our Masterclass series is what most people do is they try to get rid of emotions they don't like. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this. I want to get rid of it. That's what we're trained to do, to try and get rid of the pain and suffering. What they told me to do is the opposite. You want to get close to the anguish, you want to get close to the suffering, and you want to extend love to it. Right? The idea, you want to communicate these thoughts. And this is why I love these thoughts. They're the simplest thoughts. It's not complex, and they do it every time. I watch so many people go through tremendous spontaneous healing simply because they interact with their emotional anguish differently. So if you're feeling anguish and you're feeling pain right now, Linds, turn your attention to it. Turn your attention to the pain and anguish. And think this thought to your pain and anguish right now. But think this thought like you really mean it. And you can make the tone of your voice in your mind sincere. And think this thought to it. I am with you. I will take care of you, even if I do not understand you. And think that thought to your anguish and your suffering. Just think that to it and watch and experience what happens to it. And repeat that thought several times. I'm with you. I love you. I will take care of you. Any thought of love that you direct towards the part of you that is suffering will cause it to spontaneously heal. And when you do that, do it 3 or 4 times, and then leave a comment in the comment section once you've done that, Linds. Because remember, your experience of transformation is a great lesson for others. So whatever change you experience in your anguish and in your pain, share what happened for you. Because we're trained to avoid pain, right? But the part of you that's in pain needs love, right? The part of you that's in pain needs love. They tell me that all the time. William, don't avoid the part of you that's angry and upset. Get close to it, extend your love and gratitude and compassion towards it. And every single time it changes the energy of it, because thought is creative, right? So please do that, Lindsay. Let us know. Tanya's saying, always fighting with my mind. Yeah, it's important to stop fighting with the mind. You know, you really have to get to a place where you're extending your love to it. Extend your love to your suffering. You'd be surprised what starts to happen. I like that. Lots of people saying, let's manifest love and liberation. Manifest love and liberation within your own mind first. You know, you want to establish in your own consciousness the understanding and the knowledge that you can liberate yourself from your suffering. And once you experience that and know how to do that for yourself, then you can share what you've learned with other people. Right? Yeah. So glad you're enjoying that. Barbara Realty Kane is asking, any message for me today from my mom or sisters? Hear these words. Hear these words. Stop your suffering. Yes. We are not far from you. We are never far from you. The delight in this knowledge that we are never far from you. Feel them with you right now. Feel them with you. They're very close to you right now. You're probably feeling a bit of heat going through your body right now because you're tuning into them. Feel the energy from them. Feel it. They're not far from you. Danelle's asking, will I own my own house this year? Again, you might want to change that to a statement. Literally change that from to will I to I will. If you leave a question in place, if you wonder if I'm going to, you leave a space for it not to happen. You leave an energy that doesn't allow it to happen. Feel the energy of I will own my own house this year. Feel the energy of that. And if you can keep in that energy, if you can stay in the spirit of that energy, I will own my own house this year. If you stay in the energy that consistently and repeatedly, every day, you should spend at least 15, 20 minutes in the feeling of that energy. I will own my own house this year. And then you'll be guided, you'll be inspired. If you stay in that energy will attract events, circumstances, and people that you don't have any awareness of right now. But you need to sit in the energy of certainty, not the energy of uncertainty in this case, right? Change the question into a statement. You get a very different result. Question from Diane B. Any message from my guides for me? Thank you. Yeah, I'm being told to tell you to avoid too much sun today. You need to avoid too much sun today. They're saying go into the chambers of her heart. Tell her to go into the chambers of her heart. Yeah. Be seated in the center of the lotus of love within you. So I get that from that. I get from that Diane, you want to spend some time meditating. Go inward today. Like really spend some time doing that. Oh, you're very welcome, Green-Eyed Girl. Kay's asking, do I pick up on anybody for me? My name is Kayla. Hi, Kayla. You've got a strong male energy that's been following you around for a while. It's yes. This is a being that's been wanting to connect to you. Yeah, there's a lot here, a lot coming in. Just suffice to say, this male energy is very strong, loving, and compassionate. It's saying he wants me to tell you to be very patient, be very patient and deliberate. The thing that you're yearning for, be ready to receive it. He wants me to ask you, are you open to receiving it now? He knows what it is. He says you know what it is. Are you open to receiving it now? You must be open to receiving it now. But he's connected to what that is in the physical dimension. Whatever that is, he's connected to that in the physical dimension. What you've been waiting for, wanting to receive. You need to decide, I'm open and ready to receive it. You must make that decision right now. Like, decide that, Kayla. I'm open and receptive to receiving this now. Oh, you're very welcome. Meg Clark, William, any good news coming my way or anything from my guardians or dad? God bless. Well, the message, if you take the message from Archangel Michael, I think that's really good news today. Like, really, the real meaning of freedom comes through what we do with our thinking mind, what thoughts we choose to give life to in our consciousness. I think that's really important to remember that today. Like, watch your thinking minds today. Choose your thoughts very carefully and very deliberately, very intentionally, right? So important to do that. Question from Divine Ecstasy. I'm finding it difficult to break emotional dependencies with father figures in my life. Any guidance? Yes, you need to heal the anger that you're carrying in the back of your heart. You're carrying anger in your heart towards your father. That has not been released from your body. You're still holding on to it. So you keep perpetuating the energy, the thoughts, the memories you hold on to that were painful and difficult. You need to release the anger from your body. Yes. And there's a very simple way you can release the anger from your body by learning how to let that emotional energy out of the system. In our Masterclass series, we watch lots of people who've had long-term emotional issues. Literally let them go in a single 3-week period. You let go long-term emotional energies you're holding on to that create blocks from events happening in your life. You can let them go very easily just by learning a simple method of identifying where the emotion lives in your body and how to release it from the body. Because we hold emotions and memory in our body, but we can also release emotions from our body. There's a way to actually release old emotions, old memories from the body. Great question, though. Question from Basia. My son left to the Navy last week. Can I find out if he's okay? Yes, he is okay. He's actually really enjoying himself. Yeah. Yes, I got one of your. This is one of your guardian angels are saying he doesn't want to feel like a mama's boy. He wants you to really celebrate his journey. Celebrate his journey. He's perfectly okay. He's too busy right now. He loves you very much, but understand that he's really busy with doing what he's enjoying. He's having to learn a lot of things he's never learned before. But your son is okay. He's just going through the normal paces of learning something new. Right? Yeah, I can feel his anxiety, but he'll get over all that. It's part of the process. Yeah, I understand that. Let's see here. I got time for a couple more questions there. I got so much going on. Wonderful. I'm just wondering if good morning, William. Any messages from me? Let's see what we got here. Got that one. Virginia's saying that's why I'm hurting. If I didn't have the body pain or headaches, I'd be okay. Well, Virginia, turn your attention to the body aches. Turn your attention to the body aches and the pain. Bring your attention to them and say, I'm willing to love you and take care of you. Just communicate that thought to the pain in your body. I'm willing to take care of you and love you, even if I do not understand you. I'm willing to take care of you and love you, even if I do not understand you. Communicate that to the body pain and watch how it shifts or changes, and then share with us what happens for you when you do that, right? Remember, your body's not who you are. Yeah, Tammy's asking for a message from her husband. Go for a drive. Go for a long country drive. Find a place where you can actually watch the sunset and just let his energy be present with you. He would love to sit with you and watch the sunset with you again. Let yourself go find that place. When you do that, you'll feel his presence with you, and then come back and leave a comment under one of my pinned videos about what your experience was. But please go do that. He really wants you to connect to him on that level of beauty, that level of energy. You know, when somebody leaves the physical dimension, they do not cease to be in existence. They're just not in this physical existence. They move to a different frequency of energy that we can't perceive with our eyes and our ears, right? But we can tune into them. Someone is asking, I believe my son, who is 7, is gifted. He says he hears things and also knows things that has happened. Well, that's wonderful. You want to really, you know, there's a lot of kids would normally be very, very gifted, but they're raised, you know, the current ruling bodies on this planet are getting your children away from you into their educational machine so they can condition and train them away from their spiritual nature. You have to understand the nature and quality of thought and how thought creates. That's what Michael was saying earlier today, that the fundamental meaning of freedom comes through the type of thinking that we have, right? So the nature and quality of your thinking determines the experiences you create. And they're putting children in these organizations, these daycare centers, and places where they do not learn how to meditate. They do not learn how to quiet their body. They do not learn how to control their own thought mind. They're not taught. They're controlled. They're conditioned. They're programmed. Your son is very gifted indeed. Teaching him to hear, to see, to feel, to know. It sounds like his clairvoyance, his clairaudience, and his clairsentience and claircognizance are all open and functioning. You want to teach him meditation. Teach him how to get his body quiet. Like, get him to sit down with him and breathe and have the mind go quiet. Teach him to make his body quiet, his mind quiet, so that he as a soul can begin to hear different realms of information too. It would be very exciting for you. Thank you for the rose. Really appreciate it. So Linds is saying, wow, I feel an entirely different peace and calmness about sharing love with the pain. Thank you. So just thank you, Linds, for sharing that. Understand, so this beautiful soul, Linds, had this pain and anguish she was feeling. And all we told her to do was to go towards the pain and anguish and extend love to it. You're not taught that in schools. They don't teach kids that if you're upset, you can actually heal your upset with love. That you can say, it's okay, I love you. You can teach the child to do this with their own emotional upset. You can teach them how to breathe. There's so many things that, but the conventional education system does not want people to be free, right? It wants people to be servants and slaves. That's all. But so happy for you, Linds. That's wonderful news. Yeah. For those of you that are new here, if you want to support the channel, please do so. If you can use the super chat feature, if you're on YouTube, if you got a question you really need to get answered. If you're on TikTok, you can go to my Linktree link in my bio, and you can ask a question, and offer a donation or support in whatever way you can. Yes. Other things you might want to do is go to my website and check out the Masterclass Series we have. These are classes that were given to us to teach to other people. The Ascended Masters work through me and our other instructors to literally train, elevate, and assist you in liberating yourself from the old personality, liberating yourself from the thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that the world has given you that are not compatible with who you truly are as a spiritual entity. So just like this Linds person, torn and struggling in her anguish and her pain, just that one thought process. That's why Michael said, how you choose to use your thinking mind will determine your freedom. Right? And that woman's now free to a degree from her suffering, just from a short sequence of thoughts that she gave to her pain and anguish. You know, in our basic and intermediate master classes, you can learn how to heal your mind and body in very unique and distinct ways. You can learn that your body is an instrument that serves you, is not your master, it's your servant. You did not come into this world to suffer. You came in here to create. Someone's asking, is it time for me to start thinking of love again? You are love. Look at this. You are love. It's what you are. So many of you have been conditioned to think that you get love from the world. No, you came here to bring love to the world. That is your divine function. You are ready to be love. Think as love, act as love, speak as love. And watch what happens. Watch who you pull into your life then. Because the nature of thought is creative. The nature of your thought is creative. And if your function of love is that I must get love from out there, then you are not functioning from love. You are functioning from fear. So you want to align yourself to the function of love and let your function of love organize your affairs for you far more effectively than you may have done currently. But yes, it is, Sylvie. Start thinking that you are love. Oh, hello, Sherber. I'm sorry, Sherber's. Yeah, we're not going to bring anybody live today. There we go. Sherber is asking, do you pick up on anything from me, please? Someone's saying, it's my dad. Yes, that's right. It is your dad. Listen, just because you leave a physical body does not mean you leave existence. It's like this glass of water here. This is a physical glass of water. It's beautiful, delicious, resalted water. And it's here. I see it. I take this water and I pour it into a pot. This visible water, by changing the vibrational frequency of the water disappears. When your body ceases to function, your consciousness shifts out of the body. It changes frequency because the body is no longer functioning. You shift your awareness onto a frequency that is not perceptible to the 5 physical senses, but it is perceptible to your awareness. If you attune your awareness to opening up these inner faculties of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance, you can tune into your guides, your angels, family members that are not in physical bodies, because they're just on a different frequency. Because that water that we boiled off and is now gone, it's not in this world anymore. Can't see it, can't hear it. It's not there. We can't see it. But if we take another device that cools the air, the water will suddenly begin to condensate back down into water. We can bring the invisible to the visible, which is how reincarnation works. You go from the visible realm to the invisible realm and back to the visible realm. And there's something inside your consciousness that causes you to rise or fall, right? Either rise up in consciousness or descend back into matter. What reincarnation is all about. It's very simple. It's not complex. Scrolling down here. Question from Carolyn. How do we resolve feelings of anger towards family members? Great question. I remember about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, when I was trying to get my family to, I got 11 other siblings, and I'm trying to figure out how to get us to be closer together. And I was told by my guardian angel, John, he said, William, because my family was very gossipy and complaining about each other, and we had that kind of stuff going on. And John said to me, William, every time they try to bring anything that's gossipy or anything like that up, just tell them these words. Everything's going to work out perfectly. That's your only, anytime they start to complain, that's all you do. And that's all I did for the last 1.5 years. And now I'm watching family systems starting to connect and get closer together. So yeah, you want to get into a place where you do not get into the process of gossiping and finding fault and attacking. But for you specifically, you need to extend love to, like, literally hold the image of each of your family members in your mind and say, I'm willing to love you. That's it. Nothing more. Each member of your family, I'm willing to love you. And anytime you commune with them, anytime you speak with them, just have that thought in your mind. I'm willing to love you. Your behavior is going to change just by taking that type of thought form on, and they're going to feel it. And watch what happens. And Carolyn, when you do this, leave a comment on one of my videos on my YouTube channel, or come and leave a comment when we go live on Friday. The other thing I want to announce to everybody is I will not be doing the meditation this Saturday. This Saturday's Shortcuts for Your Soul is not going to be happening. We will only be doing the Friday Q&A this week, but we will be returning the following week with the meditation portion of our program. So I just want to put that note out there so everybody understands. Also, I want to take a moment to thank my patrons. Patrons, you guys have been great. You've been a real backbone, whether you know it or not, to this work being able to keep functioning the way it is. We run 4 live shows a week, plus we run a multiplicity of classes that we teach and instruct. And these are very inexpensive courses that allow us to help people to remove themselves from fear and restore themselves to love. You did not come to this world to suffer. You came here to create. That's what we all came here to do. We all came here to create. You did not come here to suffer. And the only function of suffering is to help restore you to love. The only function of suffering is to assist you in restoring to love. That's it. And so thanks to my patrons for supporting this, us being able to put these messages out and bring this information through to everybody. It's a real privilege and a real honor. Question from Ra Yin. Archangel Michael bestowed me his sword of light recently. Any suggestions on how to call it forth and be most effective with it? Yes. It's important you understand the nature and quality of what the meaning of the sword is. It is not specifically a weapon, but a device of your consciousness to extend itself into the world in such a precise manner as to induce very specific results in the creating process of your life. Your function of love, which is what the sword is an extension of love. It removes that which is not of love from your life. So be, as I said earlier, in your thinking process. Are your thoughts of love? Are your thoughts of fear? In this way, you use the sword of wisdom, knowledge, reason, and truth effectively in your creative process. You understand this? Yes. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. That's a really good question. I think we're almost done, guys. Virginia's asking, do I only give messages to people that give money? Talk to them? How do I do that? Virginia, I work to be an open vessel for these messages to flow to everybody. And you've heard many questions are answered here every time we come live. Yes, I do offer private one-on-one readings with people. You can certainly book one of those through my website, because there's a lot of information that can come through to an individual that can't be aired out here. Because I've had many people ask very profound questions. I've been given information that is not appropriate to put out in public. So yes, if you want to book a reading with me, you can certainly do that through my website, torontomedium.com or williammichaelforbes.com. You can book either a half-hour reading or a 1 hour reading. And I'm thinking about adding a 15-minute reading as well. And maybe I'll take a poll on that. Do you think I should offer 15-minute readings for a much smaller rate? Let me know what you think in the comment section, if you think I should do that. But yeah, there's a level of in-depth. As you can go check my website, check out the testimonials. There's dozens and dozens and dozens of testimonials on my website and on my Facebook business page of people who have experienced connecting to their guides and angels, and me being the vehicle through which that information flows is an honor and a privilege. And that's basically all I am. I'm just a conduit for this information to flow to you and to humanity, as is everybody. Everybody's a conduit for either love or fear. That's it. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. Yes, I got that. Yeah, Lauren saying, yes, do 15-minute readings. Okay. Okay, so somebody's saying I'm vax injured. Well, when you substitute your own thinking process for somebody else's, you are going to be guided in a direction that you may not appreciate. But I want to say this to you. Again, the body is a wonderful instrument. In your body is the divine spirit. The Holy Spirit is in your body. And if you ask it to restore you into the image and likeness of itself, and not into the image and likeness of the men that created this atrocious device. Because it was an atrocious device and a great manipulation, because all these beings that have been stealing money and taking children and doing harm to the world and humanity, they've been creating these fear things to try and hide the evilness that they're doing from you being aware. So they keep you in the same fear that they live in, so that you never question what they tell you. But to your body, turn to the symptoms in your body. Extend your love to the symptoms, whatever they are. Turn your attention to your heart. I love you. I will take care of you. I will never ignore you again. Very specific thought forms that will reorchestrate and reorganize the consciousness at the cellular level. Thoughts organize matter. Thoughts organize matter. I'm really sending you much love, and I'm asking Archangel Raphael to go to you now to offer you healing energy. But you have to be open and receptive to receiving it. If you're open and receptive to receiving his healing energy, you can receive it, or the one that you love to receive it. Please keep that in mind. Your body is a divine temple. Watch what you put in your body. Is it of love? Is it of fear? Is it of love? Is it of fear? Ask yourself that question. If you're putting something in your body because you're afraid, you're putting fear in your body. If you're putting something in your body because you're doing it from a place of love, and you know this is going to empower and strengthen your body. I was told by Master Jesus the other day, he said, what these evildoers on the world do not understand, what they do not understand on the world is that the all-knowing and all-loving Creator cannot be out-thought. That is, you cannot outthink an all-knowing intelligence. So these beings, no matter what contrivances and contraptions and mechanisms of manipulation they use, they are not going to be able to outthink an omniscient, omnipotent consciousness. You can't outthink an all-knowing mind. You can't. Good luck with that, guys. Lauren's asking, how can I get over deep anger over what was done to our children? I want to obliterate that evil. Wow. You must heal the anger in yourself, because the anger that you carry in yourself, your children will think that that's the way they need to be around the memory of those events. And I know this might sound counterintuitive, but turn to your anger, heal your anger. This is not to negate or dismiss what that person did, to give any sort of validation, because it's atrocious and heinous. And again, the only reason these things are happening so prolifically on the planet now is because the evil that's running our governments right now is based in fear. It's not based in love. But first, heal the anger in yourself, right? And then understand that your children are greater than their past, right? Do not make too much difficulty out of what they went through, or you will create more difficulty for them. But I'm being told to tell you this: heal yourself first. Heal the anger within you first. Heal the anger first in you. And then extend your love to the children. Do not communicate to them that event, those circumstances, are something that they cannot recover from. Do not communicate to them that they cannot transcend the circumstances of those events. Because they can. They can. I know from personal experience that you can transcend really deep and dark suffering in your life. You can transcend the effects of really deep, dark suffering in life and elevate yourself and have a gift to offer others. Your suffering, if you overcome it, will be a gift to others. Please understand, when you overcome suffering in your own life, you will have a gift to offer others that they may be free of their suffering. Doesn't matter who you are, what position you are in life, when you heal your own suffering, you will have a gift to offer others. Yes, I will. Somebody's asking, am I on the right spiritual road? I feel the awakening. Yes, you are on the right spiritual road right now. You need to continue to focus your attention on what Michael, come back to what Michael said earlier. The meaning of freedom is in how you choose to use your thinking mind. So yeah, you're on the right spiritual path. How you use your thinking mind, how you allow thoughts to come in. What thoughts will you allow in your mind? They will have a creative influence on your life. They will. What thoughts you listen to from TV and radio and politicians, your friends, the nature and quality of those thoughts will affect the creative process in your life. Why, when somebody's telling a child they're a terrible child, and the child accepts that thought, and they grow up and they become a certain way, unless they transcend that thought, right? I was given a lot of very detrimental thoughts as a child, and I transcended them, right? Anybody can. Anybody can. Ananda is asking question: how do you release the desire to want to escape through drinking? Wow, thank you, Amanda, for that question. I really respect and appreciate it. You don't escape. What you do is you heal the emotion. Because do this. The next couple of times you have a desire to drink, stop and be aware of the feeling inside, the part that wants to drink. Turn your attention to the part that wants to drink. Sit down with it. Literally sit the body down, get close to the part that wants to drink, and say to it, I love you. I will take care of you. I'm going to give you what you really need. Those words, those specific words, I love you. I will take care of you. I'm going to give you what you really need. And then get a glass of water and drink a glass of water. Okay? And do that every time that part wants to drink. Stop, sit down with it. I'm with you. I love you. I want to give you what you really need, and then give it a glass of water. You want to teach that part of you that you're going to actually take care of it, because there's a being, there's a party that's been suffering for a long time. We know about those things from your earlier lifetime. So we understand that. Don't worry. We won't disclose it. We know what you went through. And again, that part of you needs love. It doesn't need to be medicated. It doesn't need to be harmed. You need to actually engage it through love and grace. And you do that. Please do that, Amanda, and share your experience with us when we come live on Friday. But do that for the next couple of days. Anytime you feel an urge to drink, pause, get close to the part that wants to drink, and say, I'm with you. I love you. I'm going to give you what you really need. And then get a glass of water and drink a glass of water. Eat a piece of fruit, but give the body something you know it really needs. And you watch, the energy of it will shift almost instantaneously, right? I'm so blessed because the knowledge and information that flows through me is flowing from my guides, my angels, the ascended masters, other multidimensional beings, from God, the higher self, whatever you want to call it. You want to learn to become open and receptive to wisdom that's beyond what you know, so that you can learn from it. Jamie, hello, my name is Jamie. I need guidance, please. Jamie, what you need to do is you need to get your mind quiet. You've got a mind that's going and emotions that are running on. Turn your television off. Stop watching the television. Stop watching the news. Stop it. And learn to quiet your mind down. Teach your mind peace. And you can do that just by breathing. You can teach your mind, you can re-educate your body instead of letting the television or politicians or some other mad people teach your mind and body how to be. You must listen to what Michael, go back and listen to this recording where Michael talks about what the meaning of freedom is. And it's the freedom to choose your thinking consciously and deliberately, because as you think, so it shall be. So it's the key to creating good meaning in your life is learning how to control and alter the thinking, right? But do that. Please do that. Adam's asking, how does the process of creative visualization create an interdimensional gateway that allows us to enter a specific spiritual dimension? What exactly happens when this process occurs? When this occurs process-wise, you are already interdimensional. You are already interdimensional. The minute you start to imagine, to consider, to open up to new possibilities, you open this dimensional gateway between the visible and the invisible quantum realm. In the place of the quantum realm, your awareness can tap into and receive information beyond what is known to the senses, beyond what is known to your biological personality. You, as awareness, function as a pivot point between the physical dimension and these other dimensions of which you speak. You may receive according to what you are willing to receive. The law states that the vibrational state that you are in will facilitate very specific information coming to you or not coming to you. And in that process of altering your vibration, you can determine what level of frequency and information you receive that from, where you will receive it from, right? That's really cool. So you open the gateway the minute you ask the question. Oh, Drusilla's saying here for Amanda, Drusilla said, ask God for assistance. I did. I'm 30 years sober. That certainly helps a lot, to ask the all-knowing, all-powerful intelligence to give you a hand, right? But what we suggested will be very useful for you to learn your function of creation. I got time for 2 more, lots of messages. Hey, let's keep going here. Wonderful. I love the way you guys support each other. You guys are awesome. I'm kind of offering each other feedback and support. Someone's asking, should I get back with Glenn? If it's a question, I wouldn't advise it at this time. I'm getting very strongly that you should not. You should focus on yourself right now. Focus on your love. Someone's asking, how does pain talk to you? Well, you feel it. If you've got an ache in your body and you've got really highly repressed emotions, anger, fear, guilt, shame, you'll get symptoms in the body over a period of time. And so you can actually get to the pain, the symptoms, through the symptoms of the body. Other times you might feel scared or frightened or anxious or nervous. You might actually feel the emotions and are uncomfortable. And then the only thing you do once you feel them, you bring yourself to them and say, I'm with you. I'm not going to ignore you anymore. I'm not sure how, but I'll take care of you. You want to learn a process, and it's simple. It's not complex. Our 102 Masterclass on liberation instructs you how to get to a place where you can train your mind and body to heal under your direction. So they're no longer your servants. They're no longer your masters. They're your servants. You can teach your mind. You can teach your body to heal. You really can. They don't teach this in schools because there's no money in people being healthy and happy. You all know that, right? Adam's asking, I'm talking about with reference to astral projecting. Were you referring to that contextually? No, I was referring to the process of accessing other dimensions of information and consciousness. If you want to call that astral traveling, then you're moving your awareness to a different point of time and space, or nonlinear time and space. That's another thing. But astral projection is moving your awareness from one point or dimension to another. And you're doing that the minute you're trying to create something new. You want to experience something new, you're moving into another dimension of information automatically. Hello from Saskatchewan. Oh, look at these questions coming. Hi, guys. Ellen's asking, do you see me having to intervene to take my grandchildren from my alcoholic daughter? Yes. You need to hold your daughter. In your mind's eye, you must hold your daughter. See her in your mind as free and happy, healthy and vibrant. You still hold judgment upon her that she cannot release. You still see her as this individual. You feed the problem with your own thinking. It becomes very important for you then to hold in your mind that your daughter is vibrant, healthy, whole, and strong. She is healing from this effect. She is able to release her pain and suffering. And there's some things that happened during her childhood around you that were not dealt with. There's some things that happened during her childhood around you that were not ever dealt with. I'm being told to tell you that. Again, if you want to know more about that, there's a lot you can unpack from this. We're not going to do that right here, right now. But you can certainly book a reading with me on my website if you need to do that. How much information do I need prior to consultation? I don't need any information, Lucy. The way my readings work is that what you do is you book a reading with me, and you just put together a list of 10 questions. I don't need to know the questions. I don't need to know anything about you. or what your circumstance is, just bring the list of the 10 questions you want to ask to the reading. And then over the hour or half hour, whatever the time is, those questions will inevitably get answered. I often find that they've already answered most of the questions within the first 15 minutes. Most of the answers people are looking for come usually within the first 15 minutes. But that's basically the system. You just book a reading with me, create a list of 10 questions. Your reading will be scheduled. You make sure you bring water to the reading. So specific things you have to do to prepare for it. But I don't need to know anything because but the reading is not about me. It's information I'm receiving from your higher self, from God, from angels, from others that are going to interact with you during that time. And it's unique and distinct for you. But no, I don't need to know anything about you. Right? Although they'll tell me beforehand. It always happens beforehand. They tell me stuff about the people that are coming. Yes, that's it. I think we're good for today, right, guys? Yes, somebody saying else yes for the 15-minute consultation. Okay, so I'll set that up today. I'll set that up on the website today. So you guys, if you want to book a 15-minute mini session, you can certainly do that. Kathleen, I'm being told to answer this question too. Kathy's asking, please help. Will my mother ever call me again? Kathy, you need to let go of the fear and the anger and the pain about the separateness. You need to feel the energy of your mother in your heart. Feel her being close to you right now. Like, reach out to her and say, I love you, Mom. I'm open and receptive to experiencing you in my life. Just communicate that thought to her. I love you, and I'm open and receptive to experiencing you in my life. Just have that. Let that be your thought to offer her. Put away all your fear, all your judgment, all your uncertainty. Just let that one thought be clear. I'm open and receptive to having you in my life. Right? You want to communicate that thought to her telepathically. Because we are telepathic. Humans are telepathic. We're born telepathic. Yes, thank you, Christopher. Christopher is saying, when we focus on shortcuts here with women, we become one in our consciousness, our thoughts and emotions join together. Yes, we create a collective consciousness here, as we're trying to do globally. We're trying to shift human collective unconsciousness from fear to love. I want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support. Your badges, your little gifts, your little stars and diamonds are wonderful. I'm still getting used to all that stuff. I want to thank Archangel Michael for being present with us today, and I want to thank the other beings and consciousnesses that were with us today as well. I want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful and a joyful day. I'll look forward to seeing you on the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul, which is all Q&A day for you guys. So have yourselves a wonderful day, everybody. Bye for now.